So I was born Carly Richards in Akron, Ohio. I moved out to Colorado after a stint in the Navy, which was not like super great, and things were going well. Um, but I was dating a film school student at the time. The irony is I'm making films now, and I don't think he is. So, ha. But we went to the movies, the midnight premiere of The Dark Knight Rises, which actually I got to watch later. By the way, it was pretty good. I loved it. But um, so I was count 55 of attempted murder, and I there was another count, but everything's really blurry from the trial times. In the quote unquote James Holmes incident, I don't like to use the killer's like names too much because I don't like the idea of making them famous. But I went to the Batman movie, and luckily I knew what tear gas smelled like because of my time in the Navy. We get gassed in boot camp, and I was ironically, like, weirdly, like one of the like the first can of tear gas that got chucked into the audience was the one that landed at my feet. And this is probably why conspiracy theorists think I work for the government, but I promise you guys I'm too lazy to do that. And I just like instinct, it wasn't like me thinking or anything, just like knew to leave. And we started running, and something had pushed me back in my seat. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but turns out it was a gunshot from a shotgun. And people that don't know anything about guns, like there's different things you can use in a shotgun, and one of them is called birdshot, and it's really good for home defense because it goes through people and not so much through walls as easily. But unfortunately, 22 pellets. So I still got a few in there that I would love to get removed someday, but I think the surgery might be more invasive than just dealing with pain management. I go to like a chiropractor and stuff, so it's going well. It's on the upswing. But yeah, I had to testify at the trial and stuff, and we recently even made a documentary about it that we've been gathering footage for years. And unfortunately, we could only release a short, but that's cool. The short Murderabilia is on truestory.com, I think, right now. And then I started selling my things from the theater, like birdshot pellets that got dug out of me. And lo and behold, there's a market for anything. You can sell literally anything on the internet. And a lot of people caught wind of that. And I guess that's the whole point of the documentary is like, she's not just a piece of murderabilia. She's a whole person that's got hopes, fears, dreams, desires, all that fun stuff, and maybe even some hobbies. And then somehow, I actually don't know how. I got linked up with you, Andrew, somehow probably through Taylor, I think. I don't know.
It was either Taylor or Jonathan Doe, one or the other.
One of the two, which they both seem like really good people. I still have some stuff up on Taylor's site, and I know Jonathan Doe I was on the cover of like Denver Westward with all the crazy people harassing me or whatever, and there was like a 7-page article about me in there, and all of a sudden I was like, my face was on every street corner in Denver. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, I think I found a copy of that and was like, well, I don't know what to do with this. It's online. Like, I don't need this. Like, so I think he might have bought it. So that was really interesting. And I think I bought a Eileen Warnos piece from him. So good people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are good dudes. Yeah. Crazy enough, CrimeCon this year is going to be in Aurora. I'm going to be going to that. Of all places, it's going to be in Aurora, Colorado, which is kind of weird,
Wow.
right?
And
Like
I would
not
like to
Denver,
see
but
the,
Aurora.
in the memorial because you might get to visit it if you're going out there. There's
Huh?
the memorial garden. It's like super. I think I posted some pictures with it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah. I'm
super.
definitely going to stop. I'm definitely going to stop by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on stopping by the movie theater and then Columbine if I have time.
Take pictures.
Yeah. I want to
Oh
see
yeah,
like
definitely. Yeah, I
maybe
definitely.
Colorado.
Yeah.
If you get to visit Garden of the Gods, also pictures of that because that place is beautiful. Like, I hate mountains, I hate hiking, I hate climbing, but like I hiked so far up those hills just for the view, and it is so pretty. Garden of the Gods, if you've been there, it's like super pretty out there.
You're not going to
Yeah.
CrimeCon, Jen?
Say again? You're not going to CrimeCon?
It's like September, right?
Yeah.
September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Yeah.
I'll be in Europe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Y'all stink.
Man,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome though.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's just like, why that weekend?
That's like
Um,
haunted house season, so I'll be, I'm like, I'll be gearing up for all the Halloween festivities.
so let me ask you this. When when did you realize that you had been shot?
It actually took a while. So I remember like running out, and sorry if it's like a little vague with the details.
Yeah, yeah.
My brain is like so fried lately. I've been a little stressed out, but yeah, I remember like running out, and then I got to the car and I touched my arm and was like, something like my hand was like covered in something red because my arm hurt, and I was like, why is it also wet? And like it sank in that it was my blood eventually. And I was like, oh my God, we have to get to a hospital like now. So we like drove down the street, and this traffic cop there was like construction, he like flagged down or radioed or whatever, like an ambulance. I was like barely conscious, you know what I mean? Like I was like
Yeah.
um, then the paramedics came, and like all I hear is like, blah, 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 blah. Can she walk? And I'm like, can someone just like tell me what happened? And they're like, there was a shooting. And I think I laughed because I was like, what? Like I was at the movies. What are you talking about?
Right.
And so I had no idea until the paramedics told me. And like I had no idea that it was even like a mass shooting until the next morning when I got home, and like, I tried to sleep or whatever. I called my job and everything and posted on Facebook like, hey, I'm not dead. Movie, obviously didn't get to see it. And then then somebody was like, oh, it was a mass shooting and it was this guy. I'm like, who's this ugly fucker? And it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's bad. And, it was like, it's, in retrospect, I'm like, haha, but like, it's so dark, but I had no idea until the paramedics told me, which was, several minutes later, at least, I had no idea.
Wow. And how many people were unalived?
I would say
12.
it was 12, but one lady was actually pregnant. And her
Oh,
daughter is one of the ones that passed away. She was like, like one of the shots like shattered her pelvis. And I heard the nurses station, by the way. I forgot about that. My room was right next to the nurses station, and I heard someone on the phone like confirming what happened to the kid. But also the mom was pregnant and had a miscarriage. So when they did the cranes, like the birds in the memorial garden, there's actually 13 of the small ones because, the poor mom had like a miscarriage too.
aw.
Yeah, like this
Wow.
story like hurt me. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? My life can be so much worse. Like it could be, have a miscarriage and not alive anymore daughter and be stuck in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow. Wow. And do you remember the screaming or yelling, or did you blank out until?
I would say blank out because I moved really fast. Like I didn't realize until like in retrospect, like I had time to hear like I guess because I was the first thing that moved, I was the first thing to get targeted, but also I was a moving target. Luckily, like I was very lucky. Like, but yeah, I remember hearing what like in my mind was like fireworks. I thought it was like some terrible, terrible prank. You know what I mean? Like, oh, tear gas and fireworks, and then like I didn't hear any other people. I didn't hear. It was so weird. Like all my brain was hearing was like fireworks, and then my footsteps running, and that was like it. Like I think I was probably running like a fucking gazelle. Like I could hear it in my chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was very fortunate that I didn't have to like witness a lot of what happened after I got out. There were only two other people running. Like it was two other guys who apparently were like ahead of us. I was like, how did they know to leave? Like I was like, where did
Right.
you come from? And I look behind me and there's like no one. I'm like, oh no. And we just knew to keep moving for some reason. Like, I don't know.
Is maybe instinctual, like some people freeze, fight or flight.
Yeah, I think it's like that, like fight, flight, freeze, or now they say fawn too, like I think when I
Yeah.
was a kid and really bad stuff would happen, I would totally freeze. And then I don't know, maybe it's just a product of like being in the military or something. Like I knew what the tear gas smelled like, and like that's. I always tell people
Yeah.
it's called get the hell out gas. Like it, like as soon as you smell
Yeah.
it, you gotta leave. Like it's something terrible is about to happen. So I mean, it triggered something in me that told me like get.
Wow.
I'm
Can't even
fortunate.
imagine.
I mean, it sucks because it's like it's a terrible thing that happened, but I do still feel fortunate on some level because it's like, I mean, there's some days where like I am like hurting, like my body hurts, I'm depressed, I feel like shit. But then there's like
Yeah.
other days where I'm like, well, at least like this didn't happen and this didn't happen, and like maybe other people can hear about it happening to me and feel, I don't know, I want people to know that like they can survive anything.
Yeah. I feel that same way. So, do you talk to the other survivors?
There's actually only one that I stay in touch with. He was in Theater 8, actually. And like I didn't realize how bad Theater 8 got it, like the theater next door.
I didn't realize there was more than one theater.
Yeah, basically like I guess there were a bunch of stray bullets because there was the bird shot, which like obviously I don't think that went through the walls very well, but then I think he had a pistol and like an AR-15, and I mean an AR-15 is gonna blast holes. I don't know if you've ever shot one, but like they're really fun actually. They like it will blast holes and stuff. So like I think my friend Al, he and some other guy I think were like carrying this guy out who was just like covered in blood. He didn't think he survived until he went to every single hearing. This poor guy had like the worst survivor's guilt, and I guess like he saw him at one of the hearings and just like broke down in tears, like, "Oh my God, you're alive." So yeah, that's like the only other person from there that I stay in touch with. I think like we all have that common thing that happened to us, but it's just like I don't think I had anything in common with a lot of people there, maybe, or I think a lot of them, they're trying to just move on, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's such a big thing that happened. How do you like? I don't want it to be my only thing about me, but it's definitely a thing that I can't deny happened.
Right.
I
And
totally get that. By the way, we should probably tell people who are just coming in. This is Rowyn Richards, and she was in the Aurora Theater um, movie theater shooting in what was it?
2012.
2012. I thought that was right, but then I was like, wait, it's 12 victims, and then I'm just thinking of the number 12 wrong.
I mean, yeah, and it's so weird because one of the first people I actually like went to visit after it happened that was comforting was my godfather, and he actually was the first responder at Columbine. He lives in Littleton.
oh
So it
wow,
was like,
wow.
oh God, and he looked at my wounds and my x-rays and stuff, and he was like, if you had been a couple inches, like if I had been a couple centimeters closer, like I'd be dead. Like everything just
Oh,
really didn't penetrate the chest cavity. Like it was just kind of right there. So I mean, it's just eerie.
oh. Well, now I need to go back and edit. Now this in.
Colorado's weird. I always joke that Denver's just like poverty with a view. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Oh
a
yeah.
weird place.
That's Seattle too, for sure.
Yeah.
Poverty with a view.
Yeah, I'm like, that's someone at one of my jobs said that, and I was like, you know what, that is true. I was like, we were out there, and there were like, everyone's like, the mountains are so pretty. I'm like, yeah, you forget about them when you're like literally starving. And you're just like, I could get in my backyard of my dilapidated house near the suburbs and see the mountains. Like, yeah, no one's, it's you got to be very stable to move out there. I feel like a lot of people from Ohio, they want to live in Colorado, and it's so weird because I'm just like, we get just as much snow and it costs like a fraction of the, rent out here.
Ohio, man, they got some weird stuff going on there.
It's
Yeah.
I feel like it's usually good weird, but there's plenty of just weird too. So, but I like
It
that the
is.
cost of living is so low in Akron, my hometown. Like it's just, the rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Colorado was like 3 times as much as like a mortgage out here for like a 3 or 4 bedroom house, and I was like, that is insane.
That is insane.
Yeah.
We live in Georgia. I think it's pretty cheap here, but some people say it's not.
I know
Yeah,
Or
it's pretty cheap.
not Andrew, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think my state's like one of the top five most expensive in the U.S. on this list I saw recently. It was like Hawaii, California, Washington, Connecticut,
What?
some other state. Yeah,
wow.
I would have figured like New York,
Yeah.
California.
California seemed expensive. Like I was stationed out there and I was like, oh, maybe I'll stay for a while after I get out of the Navy. No, I'm not. I'm going home. No way.
I'm good.
So, how long was your recovery?
It's still a process. Like I know that it took a few days before I could really like basically they said if I could walk, I could leave the hospital and I was desperate to leave because I mean like I said I didn't really know what happened. I heard some horror stories about some guy shot his wife and then went to Akron. My dad worked at Akron General, my parents both did and later he went back and like popped his wife in the head. She survived that apparently. But yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, who did it? They're going to come back, and I they said if I could walk, I could leave. So I took a few steps and then collapsed back on the bed and was like, all right, get me out of here. They're like, no, you can go. I'm like, thanks. Um, but yeah, I definitely couldn't like do like regular daily activities. I could barely stand for more than a couple seconds at a time and walking and stuff. And I don't really know how long that took to be able to not have to use like an electronic card at the store and like, the doctor was like, don't use a cane, learn how to just walk regularly. And now I kind of regret not using a cane because that took a while. But um, yeah, it's like now I can still do, I think most things that like a normal person can do. But like, I've gone to physical therapy, I've tried everything. And then a few months ago, I would say sometime last year, I started going to a chiropractor where I get like acupuncture and all that fun stuff. And
Nice.
it's like pretty much the only thing that keeps the pain at bay. Like I've done yoga, I've done this, I've done that, but that's been the thing that's been the most helpful. But I think that, when you have that many injuries, it's like the recovery process just it feels like a lifelong job that I didn't want, that I have to work every day. And if I don't do the work, then, I suffer because of it. So it's lamety lame lame. But, overall, I don't know, I feel like I can finally at least physically function again. Like I can take my dog on walks. I can, it took like, God, I don't know how long. It took like several months at least before I could just like take my dog on a little stroll, which sucked because I was walking my dog like several miles like every day. Like we would just go on these night walks in the summer and it was awesome. And so yeah, it definitely took at least a few months where I could really like walk again. Like I couldn't work because I kept like, there was one job that I had to leave because I like opened a water bottle and I don't know why my brain was like, I was hallucinating tear gas all the time. And so like I thought I smelled tear gas and I had a panic attack and then I went to the bathroom and threw up and was like, I have to leave. So I couldn't even like keep a regular job for very long. And so yeah, I would say like the recovery from it, like even physically, like never ends, I guess. But like I would say I'm mostly functioning, if that makes sense.
Have you ever tried to reach out to him to just say what you want to say?
I've thought about it because I've had a lot of people ask me about it, but I think that honestly, like getting the last word with the victim's impact statements feels like it was enough because I got to like read the transcript and I had the option to listen to it again because Nora, the director of Murderophilia, said that there was some of it in the film. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious, like, what the hell did I say? Because I mean, trial time was crazy. I mean, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating very much, and I was really miserable. But yeah, like, I feel like the victim's impact statement, like, I mean, no pun intended, it was impactful. Like, I feel like I said everything that I coulda, woulda, shoulda said. It was very like from the heart. I meant every word of it, and I don't know. I've thought about like, oh, what would a confrontation look like? But I mean, the dude didn't speak through the whole several years of trials. Like couldn't get him to look at me. Like it was like, what would be the point? So I think that because I got to do the victim's impact statements, it's like whether that person tuned it out or not, or whether they care. Like, I don't know if it matters because I definitely said, I guess I felt vindicated, you know, because I got to say everything that I think needed to be said.
That's good. That's
That is
excellent.
good.
Yeah.
Got that closure.
Mm-hmm.
And does he have family? What was he? Was there anybody there for him?
I don't know actually. Like someone said something about his parents, and I was like, I have no idea. Like I wasn't sure who anybody really was there except like the DA and the assistant DA who had been, you know, the assistant DA Lisa had been kind of just like our liaison for everything through that whole thing. I mean, she helped me more than the victims assistants or victims comp people did. Like she was just amazing. So I don't know like if he had anyone there for him besides his attorney who wasn't very good at her job.
Yeah.
Like I would literally open my mouth and she'd be like, "Objection!" I'm like, "Dude, you're like that lady from that episode of American Dad who like can't like get her angel wings because she hasn't won a case yet."
So, Rowan, where are you these days when it comes to forgiveness? Have you found it in your heart to forgive him, or like
No, definitely not. But I think that like there's a lot of pressure on survivors to like forgive people, and I think that really sucks because like it's I'm not saying you were implying that. I'm just saying like in general, like I remember going to like a group for some other kind of thing like years before that, and like this lady was like, "Okay, so first things first, we gotta forgive the people that like SA'd us when we were children." And I was like, "Are you high?" Like, you know, I was like, "Wait, what?" But I think people have different definitions of forgiveness too, right? Like, I think a lot of people, for them, it's like, for me, it's kind of like being like, okay, if I do have feelings of like anger or resentment or bitterness, like those are valid and you should totally honor your feelings. But I'm also never going to let those, you know, I'm not going to hold on to them because like it doesn't do me any good. I'm not going to like drink poison and expect it to hurt him. Like, you know, but I also, I don't, I just, I get, I guess like I used to get, sometimes I get really annoyed with the whole like the pressure that trauma survivors are always under, it seems like, to forgive someone that did something that like basically, I mean, most people that do stuff like that barely see like people that SA kids and stuff, like they rarely ever see a day in jail, but they just gave this poor kid a life sentence to something that they will never see a day in jail for. And that really sucks because it's like, you know, I don't think it's on the survivor to forgive. I think it's, you know, if other people want to forgive them, that's groovy, but you know, I just don't. I believe actually it's more important to, I don't want to say forget, but you know what I mean? It's, I want to say I forget, but I don't forgive because I like to focus more on like myself. How do I heal? How do I move on? Rather than like, oh, I got to forgive this person and be like, you know, God bless them or whatever. They don't know what they did. Like, whether they, you know, did or not, like, I don't know of like a flowery way to say fuck them. Is
I
there
actually
a way
feel
to
that
say
same
that?
way. I feel the same way. It's almost like forgiveness is just not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like forgiveness is like I've I moved on or whatever, but I'm not forgiving you.
Yeah, like I think it's important to not like hold on to
I actually think that's how
have
I.
your feelings, but hold on
Yeah,
to them. Yeah,
yeah. Just don't live there.
exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes forgiveness is just not living there. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think a lot of people at like everyone seems to have kind of a different uh I guess like different idea of forgiveness. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like for me it's kind of like okay, I'm not going to like live there if I do have some, you know, feelings that pop up. Like, I mean, that's going to happen. That's normal and it's okay to feel them, but you know, I'm not going to like let that make me a worse person because of it. You know, I'm not going to like do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh no,
And
I like Mike's comment. Like it's in their, it's in the perpetrator to repent, not the victim to forgive. Like that's actually, I wish
Yeah.
I should have written that down. But yeah, no, it's true, you know. And like, and if you do happen to be able to forgive eventually, like that's cool. Like I'm not saying like you should never forgive them, like, yeah, but I am saying like, you know, I don't think it's on me. So I never really thought about forgiving him unless people ask, you know.
So Ed says, do you ever get contacted by conspiracy people?
Oh yes, let's talk about that whole thing about you
Yeah,
working for the government.
Oh God,
yeah.
those shits. I mean, I should forgive them because I know what it's like to have low self-esteem, but like, also, I don't know. That was what the 7-page article in the Denver Westward is about. Like, if you Google like if you just look at like Richards, Aurora, worst isn't over. Like, there'll be like the 7-page article about it because it started with. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I talked to this one like school teacher, and she and I were just talking about like she was like, I think that those people just want to fuck him, and I'm like, well, they have really bad taste in men, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was
Okay,
like
so I've
I
never
had
heard
to
a
like hide
conspiracy.
for a while, dude.
I've never heard a conspiracy about you. So what are they?
Oh my God. Well, first it started with like the harassment. I think I was the perfect like quote unquote final girl, like you would have in a horror movie, you know, like I was young and thin and pretty and da da da. And so like I was easy to find and pick on. So that was a thing. But then all of a sudden there was like Tumblr was big back then, and I was on Tumblr, and like I did a lot of like pinup-y modeling, and everyone's getting off to go look at my nudes. But no, I don't think they're up there anymore. But yeah, it was like, you know, I had people like calling me fat and this and that. And then I remember this one girl, she had like these really creepy photos, and I can't remember her name. I think her mom wrote for like an old tabloid or something. Someone told me. I don't know. But she was like posting all this stuff about shit. What were they called? Like emergency actors. I forget what that's called.
Crisis actors.
Crisis actors. Yeah, that's what I was gonna call my band. I was like, oh, we should call it crisis actor. Like
That would have been amazing.
That would have actually been really funny.
Like, and they were like, someone wrote in. This was after like someone wrote. I think the thing that triggered like that made it like okay to them was when someone wrote in like a bogus motion, like saying that he was me and Chris, and that I let the police chief shoot me so that he wouldn't arrest me for prostitution. The guy's name is Jonathan Lee Richards, and I was like, "Do we sue him?" And they're like, "No, he's like the world's most litigious man. Like he will sue you back, and it'll be a headache." I'm like, "Oh, great." So
That
like,
was Jonathan Lee Richards?
that was his name, yeah.
That's
He
crazy.
always
I
had,
used to talk to him. Yeah,
Casablanca.
he's interesting.
Like I think that was his name, but I didn't know anything about him. I just knew that he liked to sue people a lot or something. I don't know
Yeah,
if
he's
that's
a really interesting guy. He's I don't think he's all there.
Is he in prison?
No, he's out. He's in the free world. He used to steal was it James Holmes' mail?
probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
'cause he
think
did
so when he
that
was in
bullshit.
prison. Yeah, he used to steal like high profile people's mail and like
Oh, like Alex
yeah.
Murdaugh?
So weird.
Who
Was
was
Alex the guy that
that?
was calling the
Federal crime?
hit people? That is definitely a federal crime, I think, right?
Well, yeah, but he was in prison. Yeah, he
Oh.
was in prison with them when he was taking their mail. Like I don't know what he was doing with it, but he ended up with some of it when he got out because there was a dude we both knew that got some of the mail that was sent to James Holmes and other people. Like it was like, I was like, why are you taking their mail? It's kind of weird, you
No,
know.
it was really weird too
He's
because he like
holding it.
misspelled all of our names and stuff. Yeah, and like the police chief, who by the way, I had never met the police chief. Like I was just like, I want to stay out of this as much as I possibly can. Like, let me just go to therapy and go see the surgeon and get this stuff done. Like I don't want anything to do with this. But like, yeah, he literally went through all the trouble of filing an actual motion with the courts. And I guess that the police chief, when he called me, his name was Dan Oates. He was like, yeah, he wrote the return address to some strip club in Chicago. So the dude is definitely not all there. And I think that was like the catalyst. So like that's when people started like, you know, they kept trying to message me on like, I didn't know anything about privacy settings, you know what I mean? Like on Facebook and stuff. Like I was a musician. So I was like, oh, I want people to hear my shitty music. So like everything was public. I was like, you know, sprawling internet presence, like no big deal. And then I was like, oh my God, I have to make stuff private and like block stuff. I had to have a friend like monitor my messages because, one girl was like, okay, like I understand you were shot and it like really hurt, but I like have some questions. I'm like, I don't fucking owe it to any of you pigs to like answer your question. Are you kidding me? Like, what are you, the cops? Like, get out of here. And so it was like this whole thing. And I guess like some people had said that I was in the Illuminati. Someone said I was a reptilian because they had disappearing tattoos because they saw an old photo of me with less tattoos. I was a crisis actor. I was a quote, dog ugly, sore loser. And I was like, I don't understand what I lost because I'm definitely not the guy sitting in jail right now, but okay. It was like, it was crazy. Like these people were like relentless. I had to like drop off the face of the earth for a while because like I was still like in a state of shock and like super traumatized. And then like all these people start harassing me and I'm like, whoa, like it's not what they're saying. You know what I mean? It's just like that so many of them are saying it. And it was so overwhelming. I was like getting increasingly like paranoid. And I think if it wasn't for them, like I think I could have really started to heal a lot faster. But it was literally like playing whack-a-mole on steroids with these fucking creeps. You know what I mean? And it was bizarre. And I think actually one of the last, I think it was a podcast I did with Jonathan Doe, like last year. I finally said something about them that like, I wish I had me today when that happened then, so I could like stand up for me. But, it was, yeah, they said I'm from the Andromeda Galaxy. I'm not kidding everyone. I'm a shapeshifter. I think I'd be better at like doing makeup right now if I was, but whatever.
I
Yeah.
know who Ed's next guest is going to be.
The reptilian from the Andromeda Galaxy. Yeah, they were nuts, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I mean, the stuff that people will come up with to like justify, I don't know, being an asshole or whatever. I looked at some of the threads about me, and there were a couple of people actually standing up for me. They were like, dude, even if you believe that this was like staged or something, like, do not be harassing the victims and stuff. And then months, maybe years later, I get a phone call about like, oh, this one guy's harassing the victims of Sandy Hook. Has he called you? I'm like, oh my God, I give up.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of victims that get harassed. Like it's astounding actually, like how many people are so stupid that they do that. Like they're like, this is fake. Like even like it just never ceases to amaze me.
It's like, even if I thought something was fit, like if someone says, hey, I survived something really horrible, like a shooting or domestic violence or whatever, like even if I didn't believe them, I would still rather like be wrong to like support them. And like, you know what I mean? Like if someone comes up to me and they're like, this guy beat the crap out of me and I didn't believe her, right? Like I would still be like, you know what? I'm gonna believe you. Like I'm gonna support you. I'm not gonna go out and like, punch that guy in the face, but I am going to support that guy in the face, but I am going to support you and love you, because I'd rather be wrong for like that than to like support the person that like viciously attacks them. But I mean, the dude tried to fucking kill me, and then be wrong about that. You know what I mean? That's just, ooh, that'd be
Right.
terrible.
When people do get caught like lying about something like traumatic like that, like the internet will expose them. Like that one woman, I think she was in Alabama. She said she was kidnapped and this and that, and it turned out she lied about it.
Or whatever her name is.
Yeah. That's her. And then
Yeah.
Jussie Smollett too. Like, there's a few other people who've been like just torn apart in the media for lying about things like that, and it's like internet sleuths will prove it or disprove it like quicker than the cops will.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
like dude,
also
never
like,
underestimate the power of a nosy woman. Like
Yeah.
we'll find answers.
it's like to me, let's say the entire thing was a setup. Okay, people still were unalived and shot.
Well, yeah, it's like, how do I fake gunshot wounds? Like I make horror movies, but I don't think I can fake that. You know what I mean? Like and it sucks because like it comes from a point of privilege too. You know what I mean? To like have to not have to know that it's real. It's like, oh, I really wish I could pretend it didn't happen. That'd be terrible.
Right.
Yeah, there's some really weird people out there. We were supposed to do a live with this dude. He blocked me because I was like arguing with him because he said Jeffrey Dahmer's still alive and he never died. I'm like, dude, I used to talk to the guy that unalived him in prison, and like I know the guy that has his ashes, and he's like, you're not. This isn't reality. This isn't like. But he's a weird guy to begin with. So he like was Arthur Shawcross's like apprentice, and he was supposed to unalive women and all this, and like, yeah, he's a weird guy. But that happened the other day too. I told Amy about it, which was kind of weird.
Jesus. Oh yeah, he's on an island with like Tupac and shit, right?
Right? Yeah, he's in witness protection. That's what he told me, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah. What did
how
you
would that even make
say?
sense? You know, like.
And it's like at the time it was so scary. Like I was like hiding and just like miserable and shaken. And I mean, it's because there were so many of them, right? But like, I'm glad that today I can look back at like the things they said, and just be like, oh my Lord, like that's insane. Like, and I really still want to get like a tattoo of like a sexy, this is going to sound really furry, like, but I don't mean it like that, like a reptilian woman, like pinup. And because I like Motorhead, I wanted to say like, love me like a reptile. So I still got to figure out where on my body that's going.
Hmm.
Or I'll just
Are you talking
become
about?
a guy,
Did you hear the guy that says Richard Allen Davis is NG?
Charles Ing?
Charles Ing, yeah. No,
Wait, what?
that's that he is Charles. Like his crimes were Charles Ing. That's weird. Because I talk to Davis all the time, and I've released a 3-part interview with him. He laughs about what he did to Polly. Like he's a really sick dude. She was only like 11 or 12, and he laughs about it like all
Oh, not guilty. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, NG. Sorry, there's so many abbreviations that I'm like, I know we had a lot in the Navy, but like I cannot keep up.
Yeah, Charles Ing is a bad dude too.
Ugh.
Yes.
It's just like
That's why I
people
was like, what?
have fans, you know what I mean? It's like they have literal fans, and I'm like, you could like be fans of something cool, like good music or an artist or something, but they're fans of, oh my God, who put that meerkat there? That's adorable. But yeah, like fans of something cool, instead of like, yeah, some piece of shit like attack someone half their size, or whatever. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. I mean, there's people do it for different. Like I do it because I'm like genuinely interested and want to speak to them. Some people do it
Yeah.
because they think it's like cool, or like they rid the world of like sex workers or like homeless people, and they think that's cool because like then it's like you need to see a shrink or whatever, like at that point.
There's a difference, though, I think, between like collecting and stuff and being like I know people that collect World War II stuff, but like they're not Nazis. They're just like, hey, this was a big historical event. Like people, you know what I mean? There's a difference between like this is very interesting to me, and I like watching true crime shows and da da da, and like being like that guy's a hero, and oh my God, he's so hot. Like I just don't understand.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, your parents need a stern talking to.
That's a huge thing with Luigi Mangiolini, or however you say his name right now. Like all the women are showing up to his court unalive or
I mean, as someone who thinks like, yeah, his value, his reasoning, I'm like, yay, good reasoning. But like, am I going to be like, I'm gonna marry the movie? Like, no, no, please God, no. Also, he
right.
looks so young for me.
Yeah, he can't be older than like 27. He looks like a kid.
What?
But he'll definitely pass away in prison if not, then he'll be like 70, 80 when he gets out.
Did he mention Samantha Spiegel?
Should we just invite Ed up?
No, I don't think so. I've been working on getting Richard Allen Davis to do a live, but he's not gonna be nice to anybody. He's not gonna abide by what I ask him. Like he has the like I don't give a F attitude. Like
He'll get you banned.
yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, you can't swear. He's like, man, I don't give a whatever. Like he's like, I'm not gonna pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm like, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to limit your usage of words and whatever. But he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's a crazy dude. He's
I
interesting.
was a sailor, so I swear a little bit, but like, I mean, you're never gonna hear like slurs from me. You're never gonna hear, you know what I mean? I think I know what words to filter
He
for.
uses slurs all the time, but he's Native American, and I'm like, that doesn't really make
This is
sense to
awkward.
me. But okay, he's half Native, actually, half Native, half white. He said he used to get beat up on the reservation for being half half white. I'm like, that's crazy.
Ugh. Rowan with a
You
Y.
can.
Every time someone spells Rowan, that's so funny that my parents wanted to name me Iggy after Iggy Pop. But then so I changed my name to Rowan, Rowy, and shortly after all the conspiracy theorists and I don't know what else to call them. I'm like the homies came
Yeah,
out of the
that's what they
woodwork,
call them, the
and
homies. Yeah.
I was kind of looking up like what are some names that would be really good for me, and I know that like part of my family's Scottish, like my mom's, from the Stewart family, and so I was like, oh, Rowan is like a traditional Scottish name, I guess, meaning fiery little one. So I picked, you know, oh, dude, I'm still such a big Iggy Pop fan. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that someone named Iggy was like, who's Rowan? Like, but yeah, basically, if you just look up like Carly Rowyn Richards or all my crap's on like rebelghoul.com. There's my little bio and my IMDb and crap. But yeah, I thought like, Rowan was a perfect name because I was like, fiery little one, wonderful. But yeah, the Aurora Theater incident because I love Batman.
Do they have anything there? Like, do they have like a memorial or anything there? Because like when I go there, I'm just not sure if like it's just like a parking lot in a movie theater. If there's like because like there was a mass shooting at the mall here in Burlington, and they put balloons up like every month and like stuffed animals because the youngest victim was 16. But I'm curious if there's like anything there to like signify like memorial or anything.
I think the Memorial Garden's literally like right in between. Like, I think the courthouse is really, really close. Like, we were lucky the police station was so close because, like, I was like, I've never been so lucky to be so close to cops. Like, this is great. But
Right.
I think if you go, like, not far from the theater is where the Memorial Garden is, where they have all the statues. And, like, I went a few years ago and there was, shit, what year was that? It was like 2019, I think. But yeah, they had like people did all these like really elaborate like chalk drawings and stuff and like paintings, and it was actually really neat. Just all this beautiful artwork. So they do have something like that there, but like the actual theater itself, I was honestly kind of pissed at Cinemark because like they took Theater 9 and just turned it into an XD theater. So like they
Into a
were like
what?
instead of like the it's kind of like the what do they call it with like the bigger screen and
Oh,
bigger
like the
stuff.
IMAX.
Yeah, they made it like a super duper theater instead of oh you suck Century.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they changed the sign outside. Like that was one thing we loved about the theater was how cool the sign looked outside. If you look at the footage from the night and the pictures from before, like the big pretty light up sign, and then they changed it to this like random artwork that looks like I don't know the lobby of a movie theater in the 80s. It's really weird.
Huh. Yeah, I'm curious to see what it looks like now, and like when I go there, I'm definitely gonna stop by. I'll have a car, so I'll go probably get a bolt or two and check out the Ramsey house. Also,
Yeah, I feel like it was like the Columbine, like Iggy said. It's the Columbine effect. I think I talked to you and Taylor about it a little bit, but like it was like I don't know, like Columbine happened and then it seemed kind of quiet for a while, and then Aurora happened, and then it was like I feel like it was shortly after that that Sandy Hook happened, and I was working at Macy's again, part time, and I was just kind of like hobbling around, and I heard about Sandy Hook, and like I remember me and my boyfriend at the time, the one who had been in the theater with me, like we were just like in tears, and then like years later, like one of my one of my short-lived jobs was working at a smoothie place, and of course I was having sleep paralysis and shit, so I was like it didn't last very long. But I worked with this kid there that had just survived like the Arapahoe high school shooting. Like he was only like a teenager. It was horrible, and I just feel like ever since then it's been I don't know. It's just like an everyday occurrence. Like someone's like, "Oh, hey, I'm searching for my lost dog," and then the next post is another shooting at a grocery store, or a church, or a something, or a
right?
church. And I'm like, "What the
Yeah, it's
fuck?"
becoming way too normal now. It's crazy. Like when I don't see them, like there's got to be shootings going on. They're just not reporting them because like it seems like it's so common in America now.
Yeah, like I graduated high school in 2008, and like never once did we have an active shooter drill. But I also lived in a neighborhood where like you would just hear gunshots. Like people, there were shootings and stabbings and stuff like all the time, but it wasn't like mass shootings. It was like someone got mad because someone bought a mind-altering substance they shouldn't have, and then ripped off someone they definitely shouldn't have, and then all of a sudden guys are shooting at each other. There were robberies. Like every single house on my street of my
Yeah,
childhood home got broken into, and like so it was. But like mass shootings, like this wasn't a thing. Like I mean, it probably was a thing, but it wasn't that common, Like and now, I'm glad like 2 out of 3 of my niece/nephews, like they're homeschooled right now, which is wonderful because I cannot imagine sending them to school in this climate of just like having to worry about
right,
stuff.
right. Yeah, that's yeah. That it is scary to think about, and kids have like bulletproof backpacks and stuff now. Like it's not really I mean, it's necessary, but it's unnecessary. Like it should be very unnecessary.
It
You know,
sucks that this is normal,
we're like the only country in the world, I think, where this happens. Like where mass shootings happen like regularly. I mean, there's like shootings all the time, like Brazil and this and that, but that's like gang violence. Like, it's not like it is here, you know?
Yeah, it's like you expect like gang violence and stuff like that, and then something like this happens, and it's Aurora did seem really unassuming, and then later I realized like, oh yeah, actually there's been a lot of robberies and stuff at this theater, so it was actually weird that for like a midnight premiere they didn't really have any security that night. Like I think it's why a lot of people were trying to sue the movie theater and stuff because they were like, why did you not have security for an event this big? Like that's insane. Because yeah, there supposedly been like robberies and stuff there before, but like it's Colorado. Like being like some girl that just got out of the Navy from Ohio, like I'm like, oh cool, mountains and I don't know, people with money and stuff. Like let's go to Colorado, and it didn't seem. I mean, also a movie theater. Like the thing is, like they target these zones where they know people are going to be like. I mean, like I think like mass shooters are like the bottom of the barrel with true crime stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, I've talked to
they
so many
do,
of them. They're like
yeah.
they say they do it in public because they want to get as many as possible. Like if they're suicidal, which it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't. But in their mind, it makes sense because they're hurting, so they want to hurt as many as they can before their hurt is over. And like they've explained it to me many times, and I'm just like, I understand it, but I don't at the same time. Like I understand
Yeah,
it from
like
your
that.
point of view, but it's
But
really
yeah, I always think about people like that because I'm trying to think of like the biggest cowards on earth are people who pick on people who can't defend themselves, right? Like children. But then like, yeah, mass shooters are always like, I mean, to me, those are like usually the biggest cowards that we have because they just pick the easiest targets. They're like, oh, this is a gun-free zone, so let's just come right on in. I'm like, holy crap.
Yep, yep, yeah. Gun-free zones are like easy targets for them. Yeah, it's sad, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe people just need to start carrying everywhere, and I don't know. I mean, you don't see many mass shootings happen in the South. There was one in a church a few years ago, and a dude, like a member of the church, stopped him, and he
Ugh.
he died, in the process, and he could have stopped a big mass shooting, because church.
Wasn't Dylan Roof in the South?
Yeah, he was in the South, but crime though. I mean, yeah, but
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
you don't
so
see
wagging.
too many mass shootings in the South where it's like, like double digit victims because people in the South, they carry everywhere. Like when I lived in the South, I saw people carrying guns everywhere, and I'm like,
No, we have bombings,
yeah, yeah, Nashville, and yeah,
abortion clinics,
that's
The
that's
Olympics.
scary too.
the
Olympic.
Olympics.
Yeah.
I used to talk to Eric Smith. Is it Eric Smith or no Eric?
Eric Rudolph.
Eric Rudolph. Yeah, he's in the feds. Yeah, he's like a right wing, if you want to call him that, Christian or whatever, and he's like anti everything basically that's not Christian, like anti everything. Yeah, I just got a restriction. I don't know what it was for.
Probably because I said abortion.
Sorry, mine was like lagging, and I was like, what happened? And then it tried to give me a notification, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like such a boomer right now.
It doesn't say. It just says themes that may people may find uncomfortable and have been restricted, violates community guidelines, whatever that means.
Girl, my life is uncomfortable. What?
Right.
I say
It
that
just
all the time. It's like, so these people can go through all this stuff, but we're not allowed to talk about it. Okay,
Yeah,
Right.
got it.
a fire truck. Like, yeah. It's like I can go. That was why I felt so weird when they like deleted it because I posted the trailer for the documentary. It was like, oh, this has got themes of violence. I'm like, oh no, you think like
You know
Right.
what's crazy though? Like horror and stuff like you can post like horror clips and this and that because it's fake, right? So it's okay. But
depending, yeah.
real life, like raising awareness is like, oh no, that's triggering or this or that. But it's like, but people need to see that because they need to know this exists and people go through this and like it's crazy.
Well, and like I posted something of like some special effects makeup I did. Like I was like, ooh, zombie girl fun. And like, no, literally it got like flagged for review. And I was like, this isn't a real knife. Like I even put in the caption and everything, like not real, just special effects, like bad effects, like bad.
Oh, where'd she go?
Oh, you cut out. Oh, Rowan, you're
Frozen.
yeah,
Hey
you're
y'all, I'm gonna take this time to go.
okay. All right,
It's
see
All
ya.
past her
right, thanks
bedtime.
y'all. Yeah, it totally is. Thanks y'all. Have a
All
good
right,
night, everybody. Bye. Thank you.
all right, later. Rowan, if you're talking, we can't hear you because it's like, oh, there. Oh, she's probably gonna come back in. Amy, do you have anything else for the night?
No, I think that this was amazing. I'm glad that we got to talk to you again. And it's you'll have to where's the documentary at?
Oh, there's a website called True Story. It's a streaming service that only does documentaries. So if you go to truestory.com, Murderabilia, directed by Nora Mandray, should be on there. And also, we just finished up our horror film Cagey, like Cagey. I'm really excited because we're doing like the public premiere at a local theater soon, and hopefully that'll be streaming too. So I'll keep everyone posted on that. I was actually like executive producer and played the lead and helped write the story. So excited, lots of film stuff. But yeah, truestory.com should have
How can we
Murderabilia.
how can
Watch
we
it.
help get like Netflix or somebody to pick it up?
I'm not totally sure. Like, I got to talk with our associate producer and my director about it, but we're hopefully like we want to get KG on. KG is definitely more of like a Tubi kind of thing, like very indie horror grindhouse kind of trauma-esque. So I'm hoping I don't know, I'm gonna try and see if I can post a trailer on here and not get banned. But yeah, I'll post a trailer or a bit about it with the premiere coming up like really soon. But I think we're hoping to get it on like Tubi or something, and then hopefully we'll be able to eventually get the funding to do like we want to do a Blu-ray release. So like self distro would be awesome, you know. But I'm hoping to get it on like the more underground ones that have a lot of local. Like I'm already in a short film on Tubi. It's on Frames of Fear 3. It's a mock trailer that's in that compilation. But yeah, we're hoping for like Tubi and all that fun stuff. Maybe like Pluto and stuff like that. And it'll be in a lot of festivals coming up. I think like we're submitting it to one in Mexico and I think one in Canada. And I don't know for sure the details on those though.
All right. We might cross paths because we're doing one that's going to be submitted in some festivals too for documentaries.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I think like Nora submits it to a lot of different like documentary festivals. And I don't know. I hope eventually we can get the funding to do the feature length because she really wanted this to be a portrait and stuff. But like even though it's a short, like it packs a lot of punch. So I'm very
So
excited. You know.
sum it up. What is? Give me the elevator pitch for Murderabilia.
So Murderabilia is supposed to be a portrait film about Nora and I describe it as a girl who was willing to make a deal with the devil to survive. So it's all about, I guess, just like survival and like being willing to do anything it takes to, eat and feed my dog and just some of the trials I went through after the theater shooting happened. So I think that it's very, I mean, trigger warning though, like it's really heavy content. She really packed a punch in it. But it's a short 15-minute documentary that definitely left people wanting more, but was also very cathartic to watch, you know.
All right. I just
That'll,
wanted it out there in case somebody hears it. You never
yeah,
know
I don't
who's
know
listening.
if there's like a hyphen or anything, but I think if you just look up True Story Film, they're on Instagram and stuff like that too. So yeah, the streaming service is called True Story, and Murderabilia should be on there.
Okay.
But
All
I'm
right.
always glad to talk to you guys. I feel like it's always nice. You're just like super chill people, you know.
I
Yeah,
try to be.
it's definitely always fun. We can definitely do it in the future. I want to see if I can get Missy on here with you.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, because she's a survivor of a school, uh, of a school. I don't want to get banned again or violation, but a school, whatchamacallit, and she's in a wheelchair for the rest of her life because of it. They just missed her.
I think it was a son who experienced some trauma, like with being in the cafeteria at certain places in it and stuff. And he was telling us, yeah, because he knows that it's happened or that it can happen because it happened to his mom.
Right, right. Yeah, that'd be really scary. Honestly, I'd home. I mean, people are different. I don't know. Like, I, I'd home. I mean, people are different. I don't know. Like, I worry for my son, but I mean, he's in the South, so I think he'll be okay because teachers carry over there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the places I went on one of the anniversaries actually was the show to that, and I was like, Chris, who's gonna open fire on a gun show? Like, I'm gonna go get, like, I'm gonna go there. Like, I'm gonna go hang out. And actually, yeah, it was ironic because, I mean, we have that like fear-based like gun culture out here, and like, yeah, it sucks. Like, people are panic buying guns, but at the same time, it's like, oh well, I might be safer around the guys with guns. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if a mass shooting happens at a gun show, they're only getting one or two shots off at the most. I think.
Oh yeah. Like they're not walking out of there.
Right.
Out of there.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a wacky world. And actually, like that the woman in the yard, like this horror movie premiered on my birthday this year a few days ago, and we went to, I guess technically the premiere. We went to see it the night before. So like as soon as it came out, and I thought to myself, like, should I be worried? Is this? Oh, I'm in West Virginia. Like we went in like Williamstown or something. So I was like, I don't think anyone's gonna open fire in here. We're all just chilling. But yeah, I don't know. That's always kind of in the back of my mind. But I just have to like push it aside to, I guess, try to enjoy, the things that I enjoy. And I, like I told you guys, I helped with the documentary that was about me, and then I made a horror film, and I've done a lot of filmmaking since actually. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let this stop me from going to the movies.
Good.
Yeah,
I know a
that's
lot of people would.
That were like, yeah, I was kind of freaked out about going to the movies after that, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you're not safe anywhere, but I guess if you're safe nowhere, then you're also safe everywhere, if that makes sense. I just have to like hope for the best, and I always, this sounds corny as hell, but like, I always tell my mother I love her. I like kiss my dog before I go anywhere and tell her like I promise I'll be back, because I promised Nibbler I'd be back when I left for the theater that night, and I came back the next day, just like I said I would. So I'm always gonna come back. I'm feeling confident.
Love that.
that's good.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew, for hosting.
Yes, thank you, Rowan, for coming tonight. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
and thank you,
We'll have
Rowan.
to do it again in the future. If, like I said, if we can get in touch with uh, Missy and maybe even somebody else, that'd be cool to like have you guys share stories and similarities and differences and stuff. Because I think it'd be cool to have that available for the public to hear.
Yeah, I'd also love to hear from them, because I just think like, I don't know, when you survive something really crappy like that, like it's nice to have other stuff in my toolbox for coping, I guess, with that kind of grief. And I don't know, it's just, I guess, cathartic to share that experience with someone. And I'll be like, hey, you're not alone, and I guess hear how they dealt with it and how they're dealing with it, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, we can wrap for now. You guys take care, and we'll talk soon. I'll put this up on YouTube, and I'll send it to you when it's up.
Okay.
Yep. You guys take care.
You too.
All right, you two have a good night.
Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.